Welcome to the Britney series. I'm Sarah, I'm a perfume reviewer and I love the Britney Spears fragrance line. Please do make sure that you are subscribed, in case you're not already, to All the Perfume for more Britney content and reviews. In this series, I take each of the Britney perfumes individually and in the chronological order of their launch, and I tell you everything I know about them. This is Hidden Fantasy, launched in 2008, and it is Britney Spears' 6th original perfume. It was actually her 7th perfume release, because in that same year we'd had Curious Heart, a limited edition bottle of Curious, her first perfume. But as I always say on my platforms, I don't actually buy or feel drawn to those limited edition design bottles, even though they look cute. So for these videos, I'm looking at the original fragrances, the 6th original fragrance, my 6th video, and of course I'll link below some of the previous videos for you to go and watch if you haven't already. Unlike Britney's first 2 perfumes, Hidden Fantasy didn't have a TV campaign, but it did have a very beautiful poster print campaign with Britney Spears in the image, a fresh image of her with her still involved in her perfume line. And the tagline for the perfume was, "What do you have to hide?" And with the scent, it was meant to capture the mysterious nature of femininity. Hidden Fantasy is a flanker to the original Fantasy, which was Britney's 2nd ever perfume release and is so iconic now. And of course, I've already made that video. That's one that I'll link down below. And as such, when I first tried this perfume, would have been expecting not a similar scent necessarily, but something with the same vibe, the same DNA, sweet, candied and fun. And I know that I would have tried this before buying. I'm pretty sure I would have done. It would have been kind of pushed in shops. The line was still quite new and exciting. I would have tried it, known that it wasn't what I expected, but as a collector, as somebody who already loved the previous scents, I wanted to make it work. So I bought it really early on. I do remember wearing it at that time and it reminded me of that time, but to me it just smelled too different, not very pleasant, a little spicy, and so I have to say it is the perfume of the whole line that I've had the biggest turnaround on, the one that I've had the change of heart with, that I feel most differently about. So we'll get into it, all of the notes, how I feel now about the scent and what I think it's good for. It is by complete coincidence that I'm filming this video in December, because that is now actually when I like to enjoy this perfume. And not just December, but closer to Christmas usually. But because I am filming the video today, I try and film these Britney videos once a month. I'm wearing it as my scent of the day a little bit earlier on in the month to show my appreciation for it. Rodrigo Flores Roux was the perfumer behind Hidden Fantasy, and he was also the nose behind With Love by Hilary Duff. And that has been really cool to learn, because I just love that perfume. And if you already watch my videos or you're with me on any of the other platforms, you know that I pretty much mention that perfume once a week because I loved it. It's been discontinued and I'm always comparing things to it and wishing that I could find something similar. So knowing that it's the same perfumer behind both scents has given me another new layer of appreciation for Hidden Fantasy. And also hearing from Rodrigo about his, creative process behind Hidden Fantasy, he said that he was inspired by Britney's love of creamy vanilla and dessert-like scents. And I'll get to it, but that's also kind of given me a bit more of a link to the original very gourmand Fantasy with Hidden Fantasy, and appreciating more of the gourmand level of this compared to what I thought of it originally. I can smell it all around me, but of course I'm going to smell it and test it on my blotter as well. So the notes in Hidden Fantasy. In the top, you've got a lot of orange. It's orange, tangerine and neroli with some lemon verbena. Then in the middle, you've got sweet notes, clove, flowers with jasmine and with lily. Then in the base, it's woods, sandalwoods and vanilla. So now what I get from this perfume, and it was 2 years ago that I started to enjoy this perfume and it became that Christmas scent for me. It is still a lot of orange and I find it strong. There are people who complain that this perfume is weak and doesn't last, and maybe that's the reformulation, we'll get to that, but for me this is strong and I think it would get you noticed. And it kind of smells wet. It's like the orange is a blast, it's refreshing, and that links into the original Fantasy too. It's like the orange in this does for me what the kiwi does in the original. There's that freshness from the lemon, so you get this like kind of dance between the festive orange. I find orange to be, like a lot of people, quite a festive Christmas association, and then the lemon. And it made me think, actually, when I was thinking about my video and my review, I thought this would have been a good one to have called festive fantasy, and we get that perfume released from Britney later on, but it would have suited it if we'd had it in its red bottle as festive fantasy. That would have worked. I can still smell that clove as the perfume develops, but it isn't too much for me now like it was in the beginning. Way back in 2009 when I was first wearing this, that was a reason for me to not like the perfume, whereas now the clove with the orange feels Christmassy. It feels suited to this time of year. And I will say that hidden fantasy indeed, because it was actually somebody who watched a previous Britney video. I feel like it was a video from about 2 years ago, who, in not very kind language, but that's another story, basically told me that there was more to the perfume than I'd talked about in my video. And well, thanks to her, because she said that there was I need to get this pronunciation right, Napolitano cake note in this perfume, which I'd never heard of before. And that makes sense with the perfumer talking about Britney's love of, dessert-like scents. And then with the vanilla, smelling this on the skin, I get those notes. I can appreciate the kind of cake comparison, but for me, orange cake at Christmas I associate with chocolate orange, a bit like Montauk's Chocolate Greedy, and a cake that I actually make every year on Christmas Eve. So for me, it doesn't smell immediately like cake, that's for sure. I still get that orange blast when I smell this in that last couple of years, and even knowing now what I know is on the skin, I get more of the sweetness, the cake effect, and the vanilla. I think those things give a more rounded quality to the perfume, but in my collection this still feels like the one I reach for its blast of orange, and that's how I feel this scent smells on me and in my scent bubble. That's what even now as I film, I can smell around me. But with that, cute hidden fantasy name, smelling something a bit different on your skin and smelling the dessert-like quality is really fun. So if you don't mind there being a bit of a difference in the way it projects and the way it smells on your skin, then that's okay. I get the jasmine from this perfume. I can smell that in here. I don't really pick up on the lily, but I do pick up on the amber, and I would say that the woods blend really nicely with this perfume in the dry down. They don't take over and they're part of the balance, but for me, smelling that sweetness on my skin was really nice. I still find this perfume to be so unique. It doesn't remind me of anything else in my collection. I don't remember ever saying that anything in my collection was like it, and I do reach for it now at Christmas, as I said. This is my original bottle. I haven't repurchased this, so it's got a dent, but understandably with those first few wears I would have had in 2008, 2009, and the way that I wear it and spray it quite liberally now. The bottle design is different. So you've got a few things going on here. These are supposedly pink crystals on the bottle. To me on first glance they look clear, but maybe they're pink? I'm still not convinced. And then the actual cap of the bottle, mine is red, and the newer one is meant to be a metal, and there are those that say that the actual bottle colour is different. I think this original one is darker, but what I was reading online didn't quite make sense to me. But there are people who say that the bottle is different, and when I've posted videos about this perfume, there are people who are saying, wow, you've got the original bottle. Now, in terms of a reformulation, I haven't actually smelt this on the shelves, so I can't compare the scents, but people are saying that the newer version of the scent smells more generic and that you don't get that cake quality in the same way. So that is a shame, because that is just so gorgeous to know. I love that this would have a cake note, and that is kind of, well, I think it's hidden because I don't remember that being talked about. It's not listed as a note clearly or easily on the internet. So if that's missing, that is a shame. Please, of course, tell me if you know the difference between the perfumes, if you've smelt the more recent edition, if you've bought it recently and you think it's different from my original, please let me know. In terms of recommending this perfume, it is a bit tricky to recommend it because, as I've just said, it's meant to smell a little bit different now. But if the notes that are listed appeal to you, it's worth trying, but I think it's one to buy for yourself. I think it's hard to purchase this as a gift because it is so unusual and unlike anything else I've tried. I don't think it's an easy wear. I don't think it has that strong enough link to the original fantasy to be like, oh, well, somebody likes fantasy, they'll like this, not necessarily. But it is a shame that I don't see it as gift worthy as such, unless you're sure that person will like the scent profile, because the box is so cute and I didn't appreciate it enough at the time with its little masks and horses and fairies on. It's a really cute box. And its price is amazing. So this is £13.80 on Perfume Click at the moment. I will include that link below and you get your postage on top, but I shop from them. They are a reputable, great site. I haven't worked for them. I'm not sponsored to say this, but I've been buying from them for years, and £13.80 400 millilitres if you want what I think is a festive vibe with Hidden Fantasy is really great. What kind of doesn't add up in my head is that this is still available to buy. It's affordable. It's even still on the shelves. It's in Boots. It's in Superdrug. You can buy this perfume. But, do excuse my stomach, nobody ever talks about this one. I mean, those of us who are in our little Britney circle, we love these fragrances, we talk about it. But even in the kind of wider perfume world and community, I don't see anybody get nostalgic for this perfume or talk about it. I don't know anybody who wears this. I don't smell it on anybody, and it is my belief that you would smell this on somebody in public and know what it was if you knew it. So who's buying this? There aren't any like facts or statistics on how well this is sold, but it's still available, it's still being made, so I guess it must have sold well. Products and merchandise. There was a body souffle available with this perfume, but sadly I never did have that in my collection, and just the words body souffle make me feel like we've got a little bit of luxury going on there. But that seems to be it, other than a body mist, which I thought would still be available now, because especially on TikTok shop, I'm always seeing Britney body mists crop up, and yeah, it doesn't seem like Hidden Fantasy is available at the moment, but it could make a comeback as a body mist because the actual fragrance is still available. Now, I have the memory very recently of somebody, I think on TikTok, it might have been on here, telling me that they'd had something really cute as merchandise with the perfume when it was first launched. Please could you remind me of that in the comments, or if in fact you yourself have had something different as merchandise or a product that you remember, please tell me what came out with Hidden Fantasy. It is for me a bit of a difference between this and the perfumes that preceded it, because they had lots of products going on and at least a shower gel as well, but this had fewer products, but regardless it's lasted the test of time. In some of my videos I have talked about layering the Britney perfumes in the same vein as, you know, what perfumes they're similar to or what you could layer them with and double up. And today I just thought I won't layer this with anything. I think it's so standalone, it doesn't go with anything. I don't even want to look for anything it goes with. It won't work. And then when I was putting my makeup on, which is by my Kayali big stand of perfumes, I was like, well, vanilla. You could layer this with Vanilla 28 by Kayali, because the way that is marketed is as the perfect like cherry on the cake fragrance topper. This has vanilla in. I think it would warm it up and tone down that orange probably. So that is something I'm going to give a try to today. I haven't tried it yet, but whenever I've layered Vanilla 28, it hasn't gone wrong. That is a whole another recommendation from me in its own right. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed hearing about Hidden Fantasy. Please let me know your connection to this perfume. Did you wear it back in the day? Do you still enjoy it now? Or are you tempted to give it a go? Is it something you might treat yourself to in the festive period especially? I would love to know. And also with the reformulation, again, please let me know if you think this perfume smells different now, and also about those other products that might have been around or that merchandise that might have come out with the perfume that I myself don't remember. Please also remember to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and to subscribe if you haven't already, and go back on my previous Britney videos. There will be another video along in the new year. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.